Plymouth with a wing on it, will you come back? And I said, yeah, I will. So that's where the 70 Superbird came from. And, you know, I got a lot of letters. They said, you know, drive a Volkswagen. We don't care what you drive. And that makes you feel good from that standpoint. But I know from the Chrysler diehard, it had to be, you know, like shooting in the back.
While the rivalry between Petty and Pearson was normally always under control, the same couldn't be said about another Petty rival that would push him to the edge.
My ancestor dreamt of winning the Highlands Open, but his golf wasn't up to par. So he designed a wider golf club for better control of his drives. Truly, wider is better.
Improve your drive with the Wide-Track Grand Prix Sports Sedan. Its unique Wide-Track design sets the wheels wider for better control on any course.
My family crest still bears the proverb, Nashleha, Nasher.
Wider is better. The Wide-Track Grand Prix by Pontiac.
Finally, after 49 years, you now have a soft drink that not only refreshes your thirst, it refreshes your sport. Drink accordingly.
What's my prize? Simple. To create a sports magazine readers love. A magazine you can't put down. A magazine you take to the gym with you.
I want to feature on the next superstars. Bryant, Rodriguez, Stewart, Lindros. What makes them tick? How they handling depression? Do they think they can win the big one? And give me something on the NC. 2 ways. Who's going to the big dance?
Details, damn it. The reader wants details. And when someone says to me, it's impossible, it can't be done, I consider that my personal invitation to succeed.
Print it, baby!
Yeah, Richard Petty's like everybody else. He gets mad and from time to time. Try to keep my temper under wraps as much as possible, but never in a situation where it was just a vengeful deal that, hey, that cat hit me, I'm going to hit him in spite of heck, because my whole philosophy of running, of starting a race is to win the race. And what it takes to win the race, then that's what we try to do. So a lot of times you'd like to do something during the race, but you know if you do, you're not going to win the thing. So we still try to keep winning at the priority of things and then aim from that standpoint.
If there were ever a driver that pushed Petty to the limit, it would be the tenacious leader of the Alabama gang, Bobby Allison.
He was a great race driver. He had a talent for cunning and a talent for hard driving that we saw matched by very few people. He had a good brain. He had a good sense of the flow of a race. He had a good sense of when to stick his nose in something and when not to. And nobody could stick their nose in anything better than Bobby Allison could, which set up those legendary duels with Richard Petty. And led to the great rivalry between the two, and the tension that prevailed between those guys when they showed up at the track, both running well.
That tension was great late in 1971 as Petty's Factory Plymouth and Allison's Holman Moody Mercury were the dominant cars in the series. In a 46-race schedule, Petty captured the checkered flag 21 times. Allison was an 11-time winner. On super speedways and short tracks, it always seemed they wanted to race on the same patch of asphalt, and compromise was not in their vocabulary. In the 1972 season, the competition was scorching. Allison was now at the wheel of Junior Johnson Chevy and making a serious charge for the Winston Cup. In 13 of 31 races, Allison and Petty ran first and second at the finish. Allison won 5, but Petty won 8. When Petty captured the 1972 championship by 128 points over Allison, it was time for a truce in the battle that still has some lingering effects.
Well, there was a time or two when, you know, when I thought I was entitled to a certain portion of the racetrack, and maybe Richard didn't feel I was entitled to it, or maybe he wanted the same spot that I wanted, or so forth. You know, we did have some pretty tough competitive events, and more than once we got a little bit over the line with each other. My version of the story is that he always ran into me, and I'm not sure that he would agree with that, but I think there are some of the fans that would agree that I had to be provoked before I would retaliate, and I don't think that was exactly the way it was on the other end.
It was a situation where I'd been there for a long time, been winning all the races, a bunch of the races, and was sort of king of the hill. And Bobby came out of the modifieds, and he was king of the hill in the modifieds, and he came in there, and he felt he was good as I was, and he was as good as I was. But I think it was a situation where they figured if he beat me, he could be king of the hill. And we got into a situation, and it started, I don't know, way back 67 or somewhere. We'd run into each other a couple times. Then it went downhill. Nobody thought anything about it. And then in the early 70s, I guess he was driving for Junior at the time. And it just happens that we was running these long races, and it was coming down to the end of the race, and it was me and him racing for the win. And situations came about with nobody help for stuff. That we come down with 2 or 3 laps to go, and we was right on each other. He was either in front, or I was in front, or whatever it was, and the other person wanted to get in front. And you know, I always felt like it was always his fault, but to talk to him, it was always my fault. But anyhow, again, we just got a beating and a bashing on each other, and people just went crazy. They thought it was great. I don't think Junior and my dad thought it was too great, because they was having to pay for fixing the cars back up. And you know, then it got so bad that me and Bobby just said, "Hey, time out. Just get the whole thing. We're just going to have to be careful with each other from then on." And it wasn't a deal where we wanted to hurt each other stuff. We were just both so determined to win races that we done what it took.
While Petty's championship run in 1972 might have been the most intense, his championship run for his 7th and final title in 1979 was his closest. It would teach a future champion some valuable lessons.
It's the epitome of being overconfident, of thinking you're better than the other guy, than your opponent. It's just letting your guard down. It's the worst. I have, ever since 1979, I have tried so hard, and I instill it in my people, don't beat yourself. Because I did that. I beat myself. Wouldn't listen. We just fell apart as a team, and mainly because of me. Mainly because up until September of 1979, had a huge point lead. I had won 7 races. I had won tons of money. Everything was just going my way. And it was not good for me. It made me too cocky, too arrogant. And I took Richard for granted. What old guy, he can't beat me, you know. And said that on a number of occasions. Wish I hadn't. But anyway, at the end of the day, when it was all said and done, Richard was the champion, and I came in second.
We came back in 79 and went to Daytona and won the Daytona 500 and got off to a good start, and then we kind of floundered around in the middle of the season. Then it came down to racing Darrell Waltrip for the championship, and we were 200 or 300 points behind going into Dover, which was 6 or 8 races to the end of the year, and Darrell fell out and we won, and that really gave us a jump start. And then me and him was back and forth the rest of the season, and it came down to the last race at Ontario, California, and we wound up beating him just enough to win a championship. And I know it was hard for them to take, but it was easy for us to take. And it was one of those deals where we always look back at that one and say, you know, Darrell and his crew lost it. We didn't win it.
Penny's margin of victory over Waltrip for the 1979 championship, a scant 11 points. To date, that's the second closest battle ever for the NASCAR Winston Cup title.
NASCAR's 50th anniversary, we're celebrating our checkered past. The 76 brand and NASCAR. The winningest team. The longest and strongest team in racing history has been bottled up into one smooth-running motor oil. 76 NASCAR High Performance Motor Oil. Celebrate with your car. You've got history on your side.
Some things are obvious from the start. Like, things turn out better when you work together. That's why the UAW International Union and General Motors Corporation got together to create programs to improve skills and safety, to educate, to promote teamwork and build better quality cars and trucks. Assembly line to finish line. Teamwork wins.
The top men's and women's tennis players in the world battle it out on the hard court at Key Biscayne. The Lipton Championships. Early round action begins tonight at midnight on ESPN.
In the mid-1950s, Carl Kiekever's mighty Chrysler 300s ruled stock car racing. Known for managing his Mercury outboard teams with an iron fist and the strictest attention to detail, he demanded perfection and championships.
Carl Kiekever was a legendary figure in the brief time that he was in stock car racing, which really was from about 55 through 57. He was he'd made a fortune with outboard engines, and he wanted to come in and tackle racing. A very, very Prussian type of person. Demanded absolute loyalty, absolute dedication, and total efficiency with everybody that worked for him. He was the first guy I knew that ever had bed checks on race drivers. I mean, can you imagine? You guys got to be in bed at 10 o'clock tonight, or you're not driving for me anymore. He paid them salaries. That was something that it just wasn't done. But his demands were unbelievable. And the shops, shops back in the mid-50s in Southern stock car racing were, they were messes, to put it mildly. To be condemned today. Carl came in and he wanted the clean floors and the spotless conditions, and he demanded, and he would go crazy if they weren't. He had tremendous influence in this sport about what a car owner was going to be like down the road.
In his first season as an owner in 1955, Tim Flock was his lead driver, capturing the points championship as well as 18 races and 19 pole positions. His multi-car team won over half of 42 races scheduled. In 1956, he wanted more. He added Buck Baker to his regimented team.
Yeah, he had the uniform. I looked like a damn snowcropper. Had a white suit on. It passed. They had tight cuffs on your wrist and your ankles. Most of them would come out there with a damn pair of overalls on and some kind of T-shirt or something like that. And we would dress pretty. I thought we'd dress pretty neat, And they didn't exactly like that. Plus the fact that we'd win the race.
10 races into the season, Tim Flock grew weary of Kiekever's control and quit the team to be replaced by the sport's biggest winner at the time, Herb Thomas. Herb raced 18 times for Kiekever, but won only twice. Convinced he wasn't getting the best equipment, Herb felt his best shot at the championship would be in his own car, leaving the powerful Kiekever stunned. With just 3 races to go in the 56 season, Thomas had earned a 246-point lead over Baker. Kiekever, desperate to give Baker more races to try to earn the title, leased a track in Shelby, North Carolina, and had it added to the schedule just 10 days prior to the event. It would be one of the last races Herb Thomas would ever run. While battling another Kiekever driver, Speedy Thompson, for second position, Thompson hooked Thomas's bumper and sent him into the wooden guardrail. More than half dozen cars would slam into Thomas, leaving him critically injured.
Well, during the race, something happened between a Kiekever car. I don't know why, none of my business. But Herb Thomas wound up over the guardrail, and they had to put a steel plate in poor Herb's head after this wreck. And it's my understanding that pillars, coolers, Coke bottles, everything in the world comes out of the grandstand, throwing it at Key Caber's trucks, cars, drivers, and he pulled out of racing because that was the reason he was in racing, to sell Mercury outboards with his Berkeys. But when that happened, he more or less had to get out of racing. And that is a real true story.
Baker reluctantly raced in the final 3 races of the season and captured the championship by 586 points over the hospitalized Thomas. Key Caber left the sport in controversy, never to return.
The maker of the official fuel of NASCAR is coming to a new gas station near you. 76 gasoline. Now available to juice up your car at participating Circle K's.
Now there's a tire that can survive even this. The Goodyear Eagle F1 Run Flat. Even with no air pressure, Goodyear Run Flat technology lets you drive up to 50 miles at 55 miles per hour to safety, so you won't get stuck with a flat. Serious technology, freedom from worry. Eagle F1 Run Flat.
Serious freedom.
Only from Goodyear.
Goodyear, Goodyear.
Screaming, pointing, and praying are all acceptable ways for a NASCAR fan to show their support. Now, there's another. Drink accordingly.
It is designed for power, engineered for the corners, and made to bring you to your feet. This is the White Track Grand Prix, selected the official pace car of the 40th annual Daytona 500. Take home a piece of Daytona history with a limited edition replica at your Pontiac dealer.
We've won every NASCAR Winston Cup race since 1954. We're the official fuel of NASCAR. 76 gasoline. Now available to juice up your car at participating Circle K's.
It is said contrast in personalities sometimes breed the greatest rivalries. If that is the case, there is no greater example of that fact than the rivalry that existed between 2 men who came from the same region in North Carolina, but whose backgrounds were radically different.
I would say that Junior Johnson was the biggest rivalry that I had on the racetrack, regardless of what type of car he was driving, and he eventually became a part of the Ford team late in his career and late in my career as well. We were bitter enemies at one time. In fact, we didn't certainly go out of our way to speak, and most of the time we didn't speak when it was convenient. But, you know, that was just a part of just hard racing and trying to beat each other. And we had started racing. He was already a racer when I started, but we raced against each other a lot at the Hickory Speedway in the early days. And so a rivalry was born then, and then it carried right on through to the Grand National Series. And we had a lot of run-ins on the racetrack, no doubt about it. But as time went by, that all changed, and I consider Junior Johnson to be one of the best friends that I have today. I always had respect for him. He was a tremendous race driver, but it was a real challenge to beat him.
We grew up, both of us did, on Hickory, North Wilkesboro, and, Concord and places like that. So on dirt and them kind of places, you're going to have some battles and bangs and scrapes and stuff. But to me, it was racing. It wasn't a vindictive thing. A lot of people look at it that way, but if you're faster, I think, than the other guy, you're supposed to be in front. And that's where if I felt like I was faster than anybody, I went to the front. The racetrack might have had to give me a little more room than he wanted to give me, but I still went to the front. It's just the nature of the beast. If you're a competitor, that's what you're going to do.
While the Jarrett-Johnson rivalry was intense, there was another driver that provided Junior with incredible competition on the dirt tracks that made up a big part of the NASCAR schedule in the first 20 years of its existence.
Curtis Turner, without a doubt, was the most spectacular driver ever to drive a car in NASCAR. He could excite you on dirt like there's just to watch Curtis Turner and Junior Johnson go into the turns at Hickory on dirt and run 10, 12, 15 laps side by side. I used to call it poetry in motion.
Junior Johnson on dirt was like watching a great ballet dancer. He could do things on dirt that nobody else could do. He just would take that car and skate around the racetrack with it. And fear just didn't exist. Very taciturn, stoic, didn't say much, mountain man. And when he got on your bumper, you wanted to move over.
Well, it was great to race with Curtis on dirt. I think he's the best dirt track driver in the world. And I enjoyed racing with him on dirt because he was running the very best that there was out there. If you could run with him, you had accomplished something other that no other drivers could, do. I don't think anybody day in and day out could beat Turner on dirt. But taking on my territory, my conditions, I think I could do.
While Junior Johnson prompted several great rivalries as a driver, he was also at the heart of several of NASCAR's most compelling championship battles in history as a car owner.
There are other ways to reduce your car insurance premiums instead of calling Geico. Geico Direct. A 15-minute call could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Attention all new truck buyers. Subtle sells trucks. For price, for service, and your best selection every day, Subtle is your GMC truck store. Check out this loaded 98 Sierra SL Extended Cab. The Subtle price, only $17,995, and that includes freight. Subtle sells trucks. For GMC Jimmys, Sonomas, Suburbans, Yukons, and more, come to the truck store. From the peninsula to all over the Tidewater area, truck buyers know Subtle Motor Corporation of Newport News.
The only darn thing that keeps me going is the support that ESPN has given me. Thanks, ESPN.
2 days after this interview, ESPN fired Walt Connolly and restored all the hockey commercials to their original black and white.
ESPN did the right thing in firing that guy.
He was bad for the game.
This is a great day for hockey.
The lesson we've all learned is the game should be in color and the commercials should all be in black and white.
I have one regret, and that is maybe I just loved hockey a little too much.
As a car owner, Junior Johnson employed some of the greatest drivers in the history of the sport. As a driver, Junior was as brutal on his equipment as he was on the competition. He raced flat out every lap and expected the same from his drivers. Driving a Junior Johnson car meant you were a championship contender and someone that everyone else wanted to beat.
What kind of a car owner was he? Junior was, had a little bit of Carl Keycaver in him, a little Ralph Moody in him. Some of the Wood brothers, and he demanded perfection, and he did a lot of work on the cars himself, particularly the carburetor. Junior Johnson probably knew as much about carburetors as anybody alive, and he won a lot of races massaging those carburetors, and he made heroes out of a whole bunch of race drivers.
In the 10-year period from 1976 to 1985, Junior's drivers captured 6 NASCAR Winston Cup championships. For 3 consecutive seasons, Cale Yarborough fought off the challenge of Richard Petty, Benny Parsons, Bobby Allison, and Darrell Waltrip. With 28 wins during his unprecedented run of championships, Cale was Junior Johnson's ideal driver.
And the basics came from mouth drive. You know, what worked for me would work for Cale or Darrell, Bobby Allison a lot of times. Bobby had ideals that he had done over a period of years himself by being a driver, mechanic, car owner, and so on and so forth. So a lot of times we'd have to rely on Bobby's ideals beforehand too. But our basics was pretty much the basics that I raced off road. And once we got Cale to tune to that feel of the car and stuff, boy, he was awesome. He could take a car and just about beat anybody around, and he did do that.
When Cale Yarborough decided to cut back his schedule, a driver that was one of his biggest rivals, Darrell Waltrip, replaced him in the seat of the number 11. Waltrip and Johnson had a remarkable run together. 43 wins and 3 championships in 6 years that were peppered with some on-track confrontations that were legendary. For Darrell Waltrip, his come-from-behind run for the 1985 championship was special because it was his final championship for Johnson, and he beat a young driver from Georgia who he respected.
I love Bill to death. He's probably one of them. I won't say best friends in racing, but he's one of my good friends in racing, and I like him a lot. And I hate what happened to him in '85. He had such a fantastic year and won 10 or 12 races, whatever he'd won, and I mean, he was going to win the championship. He had a 300-some point lead on us. We didn't have a chance. We wasn't running all that good. We'd only won, well, we did win the Winston and the World 600. That was the only races we really won up to middle of the season, and looked like he was just going to blow everybody away. I never will forget Lee O'Mell. He was really upset with me because, you know, they give the champion the gold car, and he already had Bill's made, and so he had to get another one made real fast. And I don't know if he ever gave Bill the one he had made or not, but he had to have another one made real fast to give to me at that dinner that night. But it was sad, but it was fun, you know. I mean, Bill won the $1 million at Darlington, and it looked like it was just all over. But for whatever reason, they dropped their guard. We turned the heat up. If we didn't win, we run second. And all of a sudden, he had a lot of mechanical problems, and I worked on his old head a little bit, him and Ernie, and first thing you know, we were back in the hunt, and we ended up winning the thing.
When Waltrip made the decision to leave the Johnson team at the end of the 1986 season, Junior showed his sharp wit had not been dulled by experience.
I'd left Junior, I go drive for Waddell and Rick Hendrick, and left people. I never forget, Junior was great. I said I'd like getting off a mule and getting on a thoroughbred. That's the difference between Junior's car and Waddell's car. And, of course, Junior had a lot of fun with that. Junior, I'll never forget, he said, I don't know anything about a mule. There was a jackass up here, and he left.
Golden Door, one of the world's most renowned spas. Here, rejuvenating treatments restore health to mind and body. And for hair, the salon at Golden Door chooses Pantene Pro-V, the ultimate in pro-vitamin therapy. Only Pro-V has this patented pro-vitamin formula that penetrates from root to tip. Even the most damaged hair seems revitalized, renewed, restored to a natural state of enhanced well-being. Pantene Pro-V, for hair so healthy it shines. The Golden Door Spa agrees.
I thought you were starting to go gray.
I was, but I never did.
So what happened, a miracle?
You can't tell?
Tell what?
I use Just for Men.
That's hair color?
Even your barber can't tell you use the hair coloring called Just for Men. Simply shampoo in, then rinse. In only 5 minutes, this unique Just for Men formula blends away the gray, actually matches your gray to your real color.
I never would have guessed.
Just for Men. So natural, even your barber can't tell.
Before they were heroes, before they could fly, they dreamed of a game where legends are born. The McDonald's High School All-American Game, Wednesday night at 8, only on ESPN.
The LPGA's best tee it up in Phoenix, where Laura Davies looks to make history at Moon Valley by becoming golf's first ever 5-time defending champion. The Standard Register Ping. Final round coverage today at 5:30 on ESPN.
1992, the NASCAR Winston Cup Series had the closest championship battle in its 50-year history. It was thought the battle for the Cup would be five-time series champion Dale Earnhardt versus the rest. But instead, the storyline turned into Alan Kulwicki versus the world. In 1991, Alan had turned down an opportunity to drive for Junior Johnson because he loved his independence and the right to chart his own future.
If he'd have came with us, I don't think it'd have been anybody could have been. I think it would have been a better connection in Jeff Gordon and them that's got right now. Alan Kulwicki, talent-wise, was untouchable.
Since winning the NASCAR Winston Cup Rookie of the Year in 1986, Kulwicki had never finished higher than 8th in the series final standings. Although hanging in the top 5 for the first two-thirds of the 92 season, he had not given any indication he was a serious contender for the title. After an accident at Dover left him 278 points behind with only 6 races to go, it appeared all hope was gone.
Not a very good day for us. Probably pretty much ruins our championship hopes for this year, but we'll be back.
Through the next 4 races, Bill Elliott and Davey Allison would stumble in varying degrees, allowing Allen to come into the final race of the season at Atlanta in 2nd position, 30 behind Allison, 10 ahead of Elliott.
Oh, look out. Davey Allison is in the crash, Bob.
Oh, Ernie Irvin, and it's all over for Davey Allison.
No, it's not over yet. I don't think he hit him that hard, maybe.
Well, he hit pretty well, I think.
He's got a lot of damage to the right side of the car.
Ernie Irvin spinning, coming off of corner number 4.
Davey has got his car moving.
Yeah, he's trying to pull away.
But he can't steer it.
But it won't turn.
It won't turn. The right front will not work.
And now it's going to come down to 2. Will it be Alan Kulwicki or Bill Elliott? Davey Allison's long, tough, emotional season has come to an end.
When bad luck struck Allison, it boiled down to a battle between the 7 and the 11. Elliott did nearly all he could do. He won the race and led laps, but he left one card on the table: the bonus points for leading most laps. Through some brilliant pit calculations by crew chief Paul Andrews and Kulwicki's tenacity to hold onto the lead, Allen earned the bonus for leading most laps, 103, to Elliott's 102. If Elliott had grabbed the lead for just one more lap, he would have captured the title by virtue of a tiebreaker.
We are focused in on Alan Kulwicki, who is going to win the 1992 NASCAR Winston Cup and the $1 million bonus that goes with it. Bill Elliott comes off the 4th corner. He wins the Hooters 500. But Alan Kulwicki is coming off of corner number 4, knowing that he's winning the championship. There's the checkered flag for Alan. He's the champion for 92.
When the checkered flag fell on the last lap of the race, Allen took the points lead for the first time in the entire season.
There were those that questioned his sanity 2 years ago when he turned down the likes of Junior Johnson and Bud Moore and Rick Hendrick to do it yourself, and Allen today, it had to be all worthwhile. Congratulations.
I'll tell you, man, this is like living a dream here. The car ran great. Our engine was fantastic all day, and, you know, I wanted to win the race because we had led quite a while, but there'll be other races, but this championship's what I wanted, and I just, you know, thank God for the fortune to be here and to be in America and compete on the Winston Cup circuit, man. When I moved down south years ago, this was my dream. I came in a pickup truck and a trailer, and I want to thank all the people that along the way in ASA and everywhere in my career have helped me. And, you know, I said that we nicknamed this car the Underbird today. We're going into this race the underdog, and we ran good. I'm really proud of the whole team.
He had taken on the racing establishment and against incredible odds won the title. Although his victory was sweet, it turned bitterly cruel just a few months later when he would lose his life in a plane crash. But Kulwicki's title will forever be referenced when stories are written about overcoming odds, performing with courage, and staring down everything that his rivals could offer.
Adolphus Busch went to Germany every summer looking at different breweries, and he wrote a series of letters back to his son. September the 20th, 1897. I I would advise that we buy the finest growths of barley as soon as we can. We cannot make fine malt from inferior barley, and we cannot make fine beer from inferior malt.
How sure can you be? Let's find out. I want to talk to you about your pits. Yeah, your pits. Come over here. Let me introduce you to Sure Ultra Dry.
You can feel it dry on my hand where we put it.
Now, I want to pit your left underarm against your right underarm. I need you to put the Sure under your right.
Sure Ultra Dry keeps you drier than any solid spray, roll-on, or gel. We're talking drier.
This is another brand. I want you to try to your left arm. Which side do you think is going to be drier?
Actually, all right.
To the Sure side.
And drier is great because we're athletically busy.
Let's work it out. You'll be drier. We're Sure. Eagle Man, I want to talk to you about your pits.
Why don't you go use the woods out back?
NASCAR's Racing Rivalries has been brought to you by Coca-Cola Classic. Always the real thing, always Coca-Cola. By the all-new Y-Track Grand Prix by Pontiac. Wider is better. And by 76 NASCAR High Performance Motor Oil. Works for NASCAR, works for your car.
NASCAR's racing rivalries aren't always about winning a championship or about beating a fellow competitor. Sometimes your rival can be an obsession that can bring a driver his deepest despair or in some cases their greatest joy. It's the pursuit of a prize that seems just out of reach that at times a cruel twist of fate allows the elusive trophy to slip through your hands. Such was the quest for Dale Earnhardt as he tried to overcome his greatest rival, the Daytona 500.
In the 50 years of NASCAR, what would you want to accomplish? Well, if you was involved all the time. Well, sure, you'd want to win a championship, but you'd want to win the Daytona 500 too, wouldn't you? We've never won it, so we've been so close and so competitive there with Richard and the team, and it's just been an awesome kind of race to work toward and be a part of and be in, and to not ever win it is really, you know, it's a tough deal, but still, it's not the only deal in my life. Like I said, I mean, there's hurdles you get over, and there's some you don't, and if you don't, you just keep trying till you do.
20 years of trying, 20 years of frustration. Dale Earnhardt will come to the caution flag to win the Daytona 500. Finally, the most anticipated moment in racing.
For Dale Earnhardt, his trip down pit road following his Daytona 500 win was sweet indeed. We can only imagine what flood of emotion filled his eyes of steel as the racing world paid tribute. After 19 bitter trips to Daytona for NASCAR's biggest race, this trip to victory lane had been paved with past heartbreak. It wasn't as if he didn't already know the way. He had visited stock car racing's most sacred spot, Daytona Speedway's victory lane, 30 times before. But those trips followed triumphs in events like the Bud Shootout, the International Race of Champions, or in the Busch Series. He was a permanent fixture for the Gatorade Twin 125 qualifying races, winning a remarkable 10 times in a row. He had even won in the summer heat, capturing 2 Pepsi 400s. But everyone knows, most of all Dale, that is not winning the Daytona 500. From his first Daytona 500 start in 1979, he always knew his way to the front. Leading laps in the Daytona 500 came natural to Dale, as did late race heartbreaks.
Earnhardt's car blows up. Earnhardt blows the tire in turn number 3. Derek Culp down to the inside. Terry Labonte second as Dale Earnhardt slides back into the 4th position. Off the corner, it's Derek Culp. But here comes Terry Labonte. He looks to the inside. Derek Culp covers the spot. Earnhardt's not a factor here. Culp hold off the challenge of Labonte. Derek Culp wins the Daytona 500 in a remarkable upset here at the World Center of Racing.
Year after year, he would fall short and always left to answer the tough questions.
It's the Daytona 500. I ain't supposed to win the damn thing, Rick.
Tenacity isn't a strong enough word to describe his will to win the Daytona 500, as he gave evidence to, even in the most extreme circumstances. When the victory finally came following another dominating performance, the emotions were as genuine as any ever witnessed in sport. The Intimidator had conquered his greatest rival and given his fans a triumph that will never be forgotten. For 50 years, NASCAR has been about racing and fans. The hundreds of drivers who have competed and the millions who have watched have been drawn by the power of the competition and the battle of wills that has created what we call rivalry.
Well, the rivalries are part of what has excited the people to the point that they've got to be at next week's event. You know, today's race is over. Maybe their favorite won today. Maybe their favorite didn't win. Maybe their favorite was at the receiving end of some sort of a mishap or unfortunate situation. Maybe the guy that won did a good job. Maybe they feel like he was given something. But they want to go back next week to see if their favorite can't overcome the odds and all the things that go into any kind of a victory. And it really has the people turned on.
I don't know, it looks pretty hopeless for me. I don't know which end of this thing to hold, but today we're going to be doing a unique show. We're going to be fishing for bonefish in the Bahamas. You got it. A bass fisherman gone bonefishing. This ought to be really interesting. It's going to be 30 minutes of me making a fool out of myself, so you definitely want to stay tuned for this.
Today, it's a one-of-a-kind adventure to one of the world's favorite vacation destinations. And abounding in these blue-green Bahamian waters is one elusive sport fish Hank is after.
I'm on. A bonefish. A chrome-plated bonefish. You will have to say one thing. OD has got a set of eyes that won't quit.
That's why it's more like hunting. He looks at the tracks, he sees them, we stalk them down.
That's interesting.
Providing the special expertise in this venture are Hank's special guest, avid sportsman Bob Davids, and his friend and guide, O.D. McIntosh. Today's show will offer up a refreshing look at some great fishing, as well as some remarkable residents of the Caribbean.
We've got a porpoise over here. There's three.
That ought to be fun on a fly rod.
And along the way,
And the weight is in the line.
we'll pick up a few valuable tips to make the trip all the more enjoyable.
The whole idea is to use the pole and not your muscles. It's all technique and not strength.
Okay.
So what you want to do is be able to use this pole as a big spring. And to do that, you need to snap it. And then snap it. See, I'm not working hard.
Yeah, you make that so easy, and to me, I'm fighting it.
Snap it. Snap it. Put it right there where I want it.
It's all straight ahead on America's favorite family outing. Outdoor Magazine. In our second decade, featuring the finest in outdoor family entertainment. This season, Hank's Show is brought to you in part by AC Delco Voyager batteries. If you're not asking for it, you're asking for it. And by Kelly Tires. A good deal on a great tire.
The house needs painting, the grass needs mowing. Where's he at? He's gone fishing.
You know, this game is an absolute hoot.
I got one on.
Have you? I'm enjoying this today because this is going to be the only...
I lost him.
You lost him? Just keep your line tight. I'm enjoying this because this is going to be the only bass fishing I get to do. Now, let me tell you what we're doing. We're playing bass fishing. It's unique. I play this game all the time. First time I played with the man that invented the game. When I started working with Radica, I started talking with Bob, and I found out that Bob loves to work. He's kind of a workaholic. He probably won't admit that, but he loves to work. But his real passion in life is fly fishing. He's been all over the world fly fishing, And I guess your ultimate passion is bone fishing.
That's right. They're about the toughest fish to catch.
So he's invited me down here on a bone fishing trip. It is beautiful home here in the Bahamas. So this is something completely out of my element. I've never, ever done this before. You're going to have to show me which end of the fly rod to hold.
You're going to be a champion by the time we're done.
I don't know even if we can edit and take care in post and make me look like a champion, unless we can some way figure out how to take your rod and make it be my hand. We might can make this thing look good. But it's going to be an exciting day. We're going to be out on the flats. Now, you got us a guide lined up in OD.
O'Donnell McIntosh. We've been fishing with OD for 6 years. We're going to be fishing here on Abaco Island in the Bahamas, and we're going to be fishing in the Cooperstown Flats.
Abaco Island, Bahamas, Cooperstown Flat. Now, we're at Treasure Cay. How you get Abaco, Treasure Cay? I don't understand all that.
Treasure Cay is the little settlement where we come in, where the airport is, and then we're going to drive 20 miles north to Cooperstown.
I said Treasure Cay. It's Treasure Cay.
Treasure Cay, just like Florida Key.
Gotcha. All right. So we're going to go bone fishing. It looks like a beautiful day. Now, we came down here, and the wind's blowing 250,000 miles an hour. The worst day you said you've seen here in 6 years.
It's the one area where it would make it almost impossible. Not impossible now, almost.
Almost impossible.
Yeah.
We're going to have a little stirred up conditions. It's not going to be ideal, but we've actually been here 3 days, and this is going to be our first day on the water, so.
It's a perfect day. You can see out here today, there's no wind, a lot of sun, and that's what we want. No wind and a lot of sun.
Well, hopefully all the settlement from all the stirred up wind-blown mud banks and that kind of stuff will be out of here, and we'll be able to see them. You got to see them to catch them. That's what's really fascinating about this. If you see a bass, he sees you, and you can't catch him in most cases. So
bonefish are very spooky, and we have to be very careful not to make any noise, and we never cast to a fish until we see the fish.
That's fascinating. You never cast one until you see them.
Until you see them. You pick out the one you want, you cast to them. They're always moving. You have to lead them in the front. You got to put the line out there real soft. The slightest noise, they're gone.
You can see who our host is going to be today. I'm going to be the guest. You're going to be the host. You're the expert. I'm going to watch you, and I'm going to learn. And maybe this old country bass boy can learn a little something about bone fishing with my guest, Bob Day.
Go get
my hat now. You're going to use that big long rod there. I don't know if I have a rod that long. I have a flipping stick that I use sometimes. But
well, sometimes you need these long rods to get into that wind. Here we go.
Yeah.
He doesn't know he's hooked yet.
Yeah, he figured it out.
Oh, there he is. Come on.
Figured it out by now.
Yeah. He may be out there about 400 feet or 500 feet. We're going to see how much we can get back. He's still there. There he goes. You have to give it to him, though. We got about a 3-4 pound drag on there. That's probably half his body weight. And he's been... There you go. Come on back there. He's not a bad sized fish. If you put that net down the water, I'm going to try and lead him right to you.
Let him keep him up high, and he'll come right in the net.
Nope, next time.
That is a pretty fish, pretty fish.
Bring him right into your net. He doesn't like you, Hank. There we go. There's a bonefish.
Isn't that pretty?
That's a real pretty one.
Yeah, it is pretty.
Yeah,
that's about a 5 pounder.
Let's get him out of that net.
A inch of it. I don't know.
No, he's a little more than 5.
He's a good 5, maybe 6.
Yeah, I'd say. Oh, you hadn't seen as many of these as I have. This is your first day, isn't it? I've been out here millions of days.
You've noticed about these fish, they look like they're real bright and silver. They look a lot like chrome. They're like a mirror, and that's why they're so hard to see. It's because they reflect everything around them.
You pretty?
Isn't that a nice fish?
Yeah, it really is.
It's a good boy.
Really nice.
Go send back your big brother.
He's hard to see right there even, you know?
Oh, he's sitting right there. You can't. He just disappears.
That is amazing.
He's going to catch his breath, and then he's going to be gone.
You know, a while ago when you saw the fish, I saw a shadow. I didn't really see the fish. I saw the shadow of the fish at first. I caught a bonefish. My first bonefish, eh? We don't have them on Lake Norman.
You don't?
Nope.
Right now, let's check in with Hank and Bob for our tip of the week.
Not too bad.
It's good.
Hey, if you've never tried to cast a fly rod before, it's pretty tough. But we got an expert to tell us how to do it coming up next. Different fish respond to different kind of lures. Just like different vehicles can respond to different kinds of motor oil. That's why I only put Quaker State 4x4 synthetic blend in my hard-working truck. Because that heavy hauling and low gear, high rhythm puts serious pressure on the truck's engine. And Quaker State 4x4 is serious protection. See, you don't want to be caught floundering when it's time to go fishing. Quaker State, the choice is clear.
Don't just break your line, they break your heart. That's why more fishermen trust Trilene, America's strongest monofilament.
I guess I started seriously fishing for bass primarily when I was about 12 or 13 years old. The 135 unit that I used in Florida last week, I was able to discern the depth even in less than a foot of water, which was pretty spectacular. And as a result, I guess I'll attribute this to Garmin anyway. I caught the biggest string of fish in one single day than I've ever caught in 14 years of television. So I think this is a positive omen in the works. You know, Kelly makes a safari tie for just about every light truck driver on the road. Or off. For people into social climbing or just socializing. For people who run rivers or errands. For people who think trucks are for hauling or for hauling. You'll never believe it, but they even make safari tires for people who think this is a great fishing hole.
This portion of Hank's show is brought to you by Radica Fishing Games. You can feel the fish on the line.
And then when we snap it, we let the line go. And out it goes. Now, we're out here about 40 feet right now. You just pull it back into about 30 feet. Gonna snap it back. Snap it. We're out at 40 feet.
That's great. That's great. Now, a lot of people say you don't use your wrist when you use a fly rod. You use strictly arm. If you don't use your wrist, how do you throw it on a windy day? I mean, how can you load the rod fast enough?
Well, you have to load. You use everything. You use your arm, your forearm, your biceps, and your wrist. And depends on how strong the wind is and how far you need to cast as to how much you really use. Now, on a windy day, we're going to be out there and we're going to be using everything. We're going to be using our hips. We're going to roll into that. If we got a 30-mile-an-hour wind coming at us, we're going to keep the fly line down so it doesn't get up in the air. We may actually slide that cast over a little bit and sidearm it a little bit. We're going to take that rod and we're going to load that rod and make it like a spring, and then we're going to snap and we're going to roll from our knees to our hips to our arms and right down to the wrist.
You'd use a lot more of that motion fishing in the Bahamas as we've been doing for bonefish than you would if you were in a mountain stream fishing for trout, right?
That's correct.
Yeah. All right, and now we got a 9-weight fly rod with a 9-weight line. Let's say we got viewers that are wanting to go bass fishing or wanting to go bluegill fishing or trout fishing. how do you know which fly rod to select? I mean, this is a 9, I guess they have a 1-weight, 2-weight, 3-weight, 4-weight, all the way up to a 15-weight or for tarpon or something?
They start at 2 and they go to 13.
2 to 13, okay.
And
so if you're wanting the smaller fish, then the lighter the fly rod.
That's correct. You want presentation, as you know, is everything to a fish. And if you have a small fish, you need a small fly, and you need to deliver that fly in the right technique so it looks like it's something it wants to eat. So you need to get that small rod, that small fly, and just lay it to them. And the reason that you go up in size is usually because you need more distance or to fight that wind.
I got you.
Good. Don't strike. You got to say, now watch your line under your foot.
Ah, darn, I got my finger caught in.
That's a big one, too. I was when you say that.
I got my finger caught in the line. I should have just let it go. I was trying to be too cute, too much control. No, let's let it slide at your hand. Just let it go. No, let it go. Let it go. He's over there right now up against that island, and he's talking to his buddies, and they're saying, "Are you doing any good?" And he said, "Well, I had a big one on, but I couldn't get him out of the boat."
Sure wouldn't want to be you, Harold. Minn Kota doesn't know the meaning of quit.
I'm Hank Parker, and this is the bass fishing game from Radican. If you like fishing, this is it. Cast like you're really fishing. Jerk to set the hook and reel him in. The game shakes when you hook him. Man, you can feel that bass right on your line. Now, I'm a pro, and I'm telling you, this is the real thing.
Dad, I caught that 25-pounder.
Boy, it's wearing me out. Bass fishing, feel the bass on the line. Also, lunker and junior bass fishing from Radica.
Going early, staying late, and never being content with what others call good enough. At Ranger, we've spent 30 years pushing the limits, going the distance, head-to-head with some of the toughest tournament challenges out there. It's the ultimate proof that we got our stripes the old-fashioned way. We earned them.
This is TNN Outdoors.
Hey, I'm Tracy Bird, and we've got some incredible fishing still to come on TNN Outdoors. In our next half hour, the Bassmasters take us to Lake Neely Henry, where the winner will share his strategies for casting in the cloudy stuff. And then we're going all natural. It's the pros of In-Fisherman Television discussing live bait strategies and techniques to help you land the big one. But right now, we're going for a wall hanger on Hank Parker's Outdoor Magazine. So stay with us. We're outdoors on TNN.
Now back to Hank Parker's Outdoor Magazine. This portion brought to you by Plano Tackle Systems. The system works.
You might see that. Keep it down. Strip a little bit. Try again. Try again. That's it. Don't try to whip it. I got you. Try to load it or shoot it like how you did before. Catch on. Okay, I tell you what, you might want to wait a little bit on this one. And if you walk over to him, you get a good shot at him. Go ahead, because you got him downwind. Go ahead. Right on the edge. Two big ones coming right up on the edge.
You see them now?
Yeah, right up straight in front of you. Yeah, at 8 o'clock, right on the edge. Bonefish.
Bonefish, and I look like it.
Come shake hands. Nice one. Nice one. Leave it, leave it.
Strip it, strip it. Strip man. Got it. You got it.
Lift it. Strip. Strike. Got him. Good job. That feel like a bass, Hank?
I've got a bonefish on a fly rod. Woo!
It's about the longest running bass I've seen, Hank.
Tell you, this little fly reel is a lot different. 5 to 1. God, how these fish pull. Where is he going? How can they take that much line?
He's already got a couple 100 feet on you, Hank, and he's still going.
Maybe he'll give me a little bit of it back.
Yeah, he'll take it again.
Caught a bonefish on a fly rod. I'm a purist. I feel him rooting the bottom, trying to get that fly out of his mouth.
Right.
You know, the fly rod is so neat because it's limber enough to absorb some of that shock, and he starts to run so fast. If you had the stiff rod, man, he'll break you off before you know your name.
That's what happened.
The fly rod, you know, you got enough rod to react.
Yep.
He's still not finished, Hank.
You don't want to do that. Now, don't go to the mangroves. I don't want you to do that at all. That would not suit me in the least little bit. I will not be happy with you, Bonefish. If you go to the mangroves, I'm going to be disappointed in you bad. I said, don't go. Here, come this way. I love fishing, but I never head out without the right equipment or the right motor oil. Quaker State Marine Synthetic. It exceeds all of today's warranty requirements. When the bass are biting, I don't want to be on the wrong side of the lake smoking and choking. Quaker State won't foul my spark plug, so my engine keeps performing and stays protected, which means more efficient. And Quaker State is biodegradable. Right, more efficient. Quaker State Marine, it's right for your engine. Go ahead. You know, I really like to keep my boat looking new. And with Duragloss Fast Clean and Shine, it makes it really easy. Just spray it on and wipe it off. It cleans and shines like new in no time at all. Duragloss Fast Clean and Shine for that showroom finish. I guarantee you Hank Parker wouldn't use anything else. Look for Fast Clean and Shine and other quality Duragloss products at your favorite auto parts store. Another load, Hank. I've been fishing Berkeley rods for a lot of years. You know, I'm real excited about this new custom series. 16 sweet little numbers, each specially designed and fine-tuned for my style of fishing. We got rods for worming, flipping, finessing, you name it. Hey, Berkeley was so pleased, they asked me about putting my name on every one of them, and I was proud to oblige. What you doing, Hank? Proud and tickled to death. 39,002, 39,000.
No other
other batteries get on board my boat.
Because they're relive. I think I've been a little stubborn about AC Delco Voyager.
Yeah, I've been thinking the same thing, Hank. You have been stubborn. I'm kidding. Truth is, the AC Delco Voyager is reliable and durable.
I agree. It's the best all-around deep cycle battery I've ever seen.
Finally, Hank and Jimmy agree.
That's better made of yours or something.
Yeah, that's the best.
I didn't say it was best.
Whose is better?
Mine.
Oh, man, the blades don't even matter.
Well, some things never change.
Oh, me break. You really would like to get in those mangroves. There's not really enough water, or is it, OD? Yeah, come this way right here.
It is, but I don't think you'll make it. I think you can turn and short it out.
He's not through yet. How in the world can they do that? Looks pretty tired, Bob. Glad he's given up.
Hey, attaboy.
Yippee! How about that?
Congratulations, Hank.
Man, I caught one on a fly rod. That is exciting. Yeah, let me hold that to you since I caught him. How about that? You know something? First bonefish on a fly rod. Okay, you don't even know I let him go. There he goes. Man, I'm telling you, that is so much fun. That is so exciting.
Congratulations.
Woo, man.
First bonefish on a fly rod.
Telling you. OD.
Thank you.
That's fantastic, man. I sure appreciate it. This has been an unbelievable experience. I have been told about it. Bob's been trying to get me to come down here, and I finally came. Got to meet OD, which is a super guy, a set of eyes like nobody in the world. I don't think anybody can see as good as OD. It's incredible how he sees these fish. Beautiful scenery, just had a fantastic time. It is like you said, Bob, it's more hunting than it is fishing. But then when you get one on, they are so strong and they go forever. I mean, it is incredible. I'd like to thank Vic Cutter over at Fenwick for sending me some rods. I didn't know which end of a fly rod to hold if it wasn't for Bob, but Vic sent me the rod. People over at Jesse Brown for showing me how to tie a nail knot. I had no clue how to do that. So it's been a whole new learning curve for me, and a gracious host, Bob.
Thanks for coming down.
Man,
come back anytime.
I'm going to do this. He catches them. We can't show you on videotape how many fish he caught. Every time he picks up a fly rod, he puts it right where he wants it. But I hope you had a good time, and this is completely different from the old redneck bass fisherman that I am. But I enjoyed it, and I hope you did. Thanks for being with me. God bless you. I'm Hank Parker. Woo, man, I'm telling you. Finally.
Hank's Show is brought to you in part by AC Delco Voyager batteries. If you're not asking for it, you're asking for it. Don't be sorry. Use America's strongest, Berkeley Trilene. Garmin, the #1 name in GPS, has now gone fishing. Kelly Tires, a good deal on a great tire. Man's Bait Company, quality lures made in America. Minn Kota doesn't know the meaning of quit. Quaker State Lubricants, Hank Parker's personal choice. Radica Fishing Games, you can feel the fish on the line. Ranger Boats, we still build them one at a time. Remington, makers of quality quick-set cabin tents. And by Abu Garcia, Berkeley Rods, Mercury Outboards, Mustad Hooks, Plano Tackle Systems, and Uncle Josh.
The house needs painting, the grass needs mowing. Where's he at? Gone fishing.
Can't ever argue with the star.
You hang in there. You'll get one day. Hey, and you'll be good enough to catch one on shrimp like people, okay? Those little flies, anybody can do that big long rod, but to catch them on shrimp takes a special talent. Right, O.D.? Right, O.D.?
Just the opposite.
Just the opposite. Boy, you're not working with me at all. I can't get any respect whatsoever.
This is TNN Outdoors. Bassmasters, next on TNN Outdoors. April Fool's Day, he spent years chasing his elusive dreams.
I got turned down for Star Search like 5 or 6 times.
And became the most successful comedy recording artist in history. The Life and Times of Jeff Foxworthy. April 1st, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. Part of Country Comedy Week with Jeff Foxworthy on TNN.
Let's talk about service and installation.
Okay. When you sell a DBS system to a customer, do you tell them that they will be responsible for their own service and installation?
Well...
Isn't it a fact, sir, that DBS installation alone can cost several $100s?
I have no control over that.
Cable TV's been providing its customers with guaranteed service for years.
Senator, that's irrelevant.
Do you stand behind what you sell?
I don't have to answer that.
We stand behind Cox Cable, 100% guaranteed. Cox Communications. Expect the best.
I'm not hiding anything.
Bad trading throughout history. Cow for Magic Beads. Beads for Manhattan. Your used car for new one. At Dr. Motorworks, we think you should know the facts. If you like the look of your car, don't get rid of it. A remanufactured engine can save you thousands compared to the cost of a new car. And just think of the savings in taxes and insurance. Don't make the Bad Trading Hall of Fame. Call Dr. Motorworks today and find out more. Dr. Motorworks in Hampton and Virginia Beach. Trade your engine, not your car.
Bass-catching techniques of the Bassmaster Tournament Trail Pros. Coming next on the Bassmasters, right here on TNN Outdoors. Today, the $5 million Bass Angler Sportsman Society's Tournament Trail drops anchor in northeastern Alabama at Lake Neely Henry on the Bass-rich Coosa River. Gadsden, Alabama is the launch point and weigh-in site for the Bassmaster Top 100 Pro-Am. On hand are the world's top-ranked fishing pros, paired with amateur partners. This is the same Coosa River that's impounded downstream by the Logan Martin and Lay Lake dams, the one that's hosted 4 Bassmasters Classic World Championships. The challenge of the Coosa brings out the best in bass anglers, as South Carolina pro Davey Height proved here last May with a winning creel of 55 pounds.
But that's all history. As you'll learn today on the Bassmasters, the current conditions, the best lure presentations, and determining what stage the bass are in this case, spawn or post-spawn, are the keys to catching bass. Being hard-headed helps.
I'm pretty hard-headed fisherman, and it hurts me a whole lot. But right now, you need to be hard-headed right now in a deal like this. Get hard-headed and just believe the fish are there and go after them.
What Charlie Reed, the 1986 world champion, is telling us is don't let the muddy water spook you. Charlie knows that the bass are in on the bank spawning. How to make them bite, that's the key.
Okay, if the bass are trying to bed, what's the best lure choice? A chartreuse tube jig, a soft plastic lizard, or the Berkeley Power Crawl? In muddy water conditions, you'll learn why and how Texas pro Alton Jones fishes the plum-colored crawfish imitation. And we've got a great mailbag question for all pro David Fritz on the proper use of boat position and casting angles in fishing offshore structure.
David Fritz is the hottest pro angler around. This season alone, he's won over $350,000. And here's one of his little secrets that gives him an edge.
What I've got a zoom centipede, and it's really not a color that you see. And actually, this color is a green pumpkin. But what I do, I like to take these chartreuse centipedes and lay them on top of them. And it sort of bleaches in with them, especially, if it stays in there 2 or 3 days. In fact, I use most of them. If you see them, they got bright spots and dark spots, and a lot of times these spotted bass, you know, they love chartreuse anyway, and it just seemed to be the trick today. It's little bitty things like this that usually make a big difference, and that's what I'm looking for, that small edge. That's when we end up mounting up to 2 or 3 fish a day.
Fritz, you are something else. Hold up, folks. Look at this thing. Look at this thing. Look at it now. Oh, my Lord, Hammer. This thing here was going to go over 4 pounds.
Are you going to bet $1?
David, here's a tip for you. Don't bet the bass boss, Ray Scott. He's the weighmaster.
I'll take a 614.
14. I say 615 for $1. I did, but yes, it is. 8 pounds and 1 ounce, and that's have a nice hand. That is a fantastic bass. That's what I call a buck bass.
Bass bite and won't let go. Bass bite and won't let go. Bass bite and won't let go. Berkley Power Bait. You'll feel more bites, set more hooks, and catch more bass. Because when you fish Power Bait, fish bite and won't let go.
You're not after second best, and all you're gonna follow are the fish. Welcome to the tournament-level performance of the Ranger Sports Series. Cocked, loaded, and priced to move. Once you pull the trigger, the cap you wear won't be the only thing blown away.
Oh, did you see that one jump?
It's all about time. Taking the time to enjoy the simple things.
You got one, son? Yeah. Whoa, Dad, look at that. Whoa, he's really fighting me.
Bass Pro Shops helps make that time special.
Great. Good job. I'll bet that fish weighed 10 pounds. Right, Dad?
After all, they grow so fast.
Flambeau's new tackle stations are really 6 storage systems in one. The 4 extender packs hold soft baits or single hook lures for really easy access. They hook on your belt. This is as good as kissing a fish. Flambeau designed the tackle station system for serious anglers with a top compartment that holds your most used tough tainer box. Top storage for boxes and extender packs. Line dispensers for leaders, spooling fresh line. A bottom compartment complete with 4 tough tainers. Fantastic. Flambeau, what will you think of next?
Lake Neely Henry, only 11,200 acres in size, but with the 77-mile-long serpentine-shaped Coosa River twisting over the Alabama countryside, it fishes much bigger. Upriver from Gadsden, the Bassmaster Alabama Top 100 host city, the lake quickly changes character. Backwater sloughs and small feeder creeks off the flooded old river channel are prime springtime fishing locations. With water temperatures pushing over the mid-60s, bass move into the spawning coves and pockets. Alton Jones, a Waco, Texas-based touring pro, knows this seasonal pattern is dependable. Last May, Alton fished the backwaters with great success, weighing in 51 pounds 4 ounces for a 4th-place tie with Gary Klein, another Texas pro. Well, it's May again. The timetable's on schedule, but not the conditions. Dirty water is the culprit. Heavy rains prior to the tournament muddied most areas. Visibility is poor. Sight fishing, searching for and spotting bass in the shallows is difficult.
Tough fishing, yes, but a technique Alton Jones is not quite ready to give up on just yet. Matter of fact, it could be a blessing. The off-color water conditions could discourage other anglers from fishing the pattern.
My main pattern, though, was not sight fishing in practice. My main pattern was flipping, and I had some quality bites going on. The first day I caught about 5 limits of bass flipping, but I noticed 2 or 3 bass beginning to get on nests. So the second day I went back to those areas where they had been nesting the first day, and more bass had moved in. You know, we had the flood last week, and as the river began to settle down and clear up, more of these bass that hadn't spawned yet because it's been a cold spring began to move in and spawn.
There's another factor Alton observes about the current conditions, the river flow.
In the Alabama Power Company chain of lakes, electric power generation pulls water through the dam and out of the upriver sloughs. Despite the muddy water, Alton Jones adapts to his spawning pattern. With the water level dropping, he can observe bass in the shallows. In the thin water, the bass are jittery and spook off the beds, but Alton marks the spots. With the water level higher, he can return and make repeated casts to the pinpoint spots, putting his lure right on target.
This is a really nice fish. See her right this second. She swam through a minute ago. She'll come back in here. Don't move, don't move, do not move. There's a 5-pounder sitting right there. Suspended. Oh, man, she spooked.
Spawn or post-spawn? Which pattern do you fish? Oklahoma's Kenyon Hill is working a steep bank in the dam area of Neely Henry.
And I'm targeting the post-spawn fish. They're a little more consistent, and in this color of water, they're a little easier to catch because you're not relying on seeing them. But so what I'm doing, I'm out here on these steeper banks, and the fish seem to be relating to rocks. And we've caught 2 or 3 right here, and it's a little underwater rock point. Off a slide is what it is. And you just go along these big steeper banks, or mini bluffs is what they are, with the jig, and I'm flipping with 25-pound line and 7.5-foot flipping stick. It doesn't seem to matter. I'm just throwing a green pumpkin jig with a green pumpkin mojo chunk and dyeing the tails of it chartreuse. They really like chartreuse on this lake, and with this watercolor, chartreuse is a good high visible color. And so I got kind of a subtle jig, not a real loud jig, with a little bright tail on it, you know, and it seems to be a really good color. I've tried black and blue, and I've caught a few on black and blue and some of the standard colors of jigs we throw, but this one seems to outproduce it.
At times, post-spawn bass can be difficult to catch, but as Kenyon Hill explains, at times a seasonal pattern can be right on.
Well, the post-spawn blues are primarily as soon as they come off the beds. Normally, post-spawn a week to 2 or 3 weeks after they spawn is my favorite time to fish, and it's because they're staying primarily shallow. They're cruising the banks trying to feed up after the spawn. They don't feed during the spawn, so it's a pretty stressful time for them. And a lot of the bait is all moving to the bank. The shad, I've seen them flipping around some of these rocks, and they're spawning. The sunfish will come up and spawn. So a lot of their major forage is making a push to the bank, so they're cruising the bank just feeding, and it makes fishing pretty simple.
The Bassmasters will be right back with more tips and tactics for springtime bassing. But right now, it's time for Bass Mail, where you ask the pros for how-to answers. Brad Reese writes from Iowa, the pros talk a lot about boat position and how important it can be in fishing offshore structure. Please explain. Here's David Fritz with the answer.
You know, the key is once you figure out how deep the fish are, is to position your boat so that you can make your bait come through the strike zone and keep it in there longer. And a lot of times it's hard to do. Depending on how big the break is, there's a better. I see, I kept moving my boat in right here to where I got my bait, where it would stay there in the strike zone a little better. We don't need to. The boat position is real important. You want to keep your boat away from the brake where your bait actually comes off the brake and keeps coming straight for a short distance and then start to come up. So that's the whole key to trying to keep your boat. If the brake is right here, I want to stay about 7 or 8 foot away from the brake so my bait comes like this and comes up away from the brake.
If you have a question for the Bassmaster Tournament Trail Pros, write Bass Mail, 8600 Coppertown Lane, Box 404, Dallas, Texas, 75243. We may select your question to answer on the air.
Isn't that a pretty sight?
So how many miles? 50?
90.
90?
90,000 miles. Dude, that's just getting broke in for Chevy.
Is that a scratch?
Scratches give character.
The best long-term quality of any full-size pickup belongs to Chevy.
Women like character.
Chevy, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road.
What'd you step in?
It is a sport played out in some of the most magnificent arenas on Earth. Toledo Bend, Okeechobee, Table Rock. A sport played at a higher level, where you throw everything you've got at every fish on every cast. We do the same with the gear. At Quantum, fishing is a contact sport.
All right. If you're looking for comfort, Jersey's has it. If you're looking for clothing that's easy to care for, Jersey's has that. And if you're looking for more styles and colors than you've got fingers and toes, well, we got that too. Can you believe it? That is what you want, isn't it? Jersey's. That's with a Z.
If you're going for trophy fish, Kmart's the first place to stop. Kmart's got your reel, highly tuned bait cast and spinning reels. Kmart's got your rod, the length and the action you're looking for. Famous name brands at Kmart low prices all the time. And now Kmart is the Bass Angler Sportsman Society headquarters for all your fishing needs. Kmart. We're talking serious fishing here. Don't miss this Abu Garcia 5500C casting reel. Great Kmart price, just $57.99.
When David Fritz brings in a big bag of bass, most folks think they're hitting crankbaits. Well, for sure, that's the 1993 World Champions money bait. But here at Lake Neely Henry, the Carolina rig is paying off.
Dang it. They got me what?
You ain't gonna win no tournament, but
David's fishing the mid-lake area below the Highway 77 bridge. He's located a shallow bar near the river channel.
actually I'm just fishing just a real little flat point, and there's just a lot of gravel on it. There's no current right now. I'm throwing this little off-colored zoom centipede. And it's working it real slow. The fish are real finicky this morning. They have been. Fishing hasn't been easy for me in the morning. A lot of guys are catching theirs in the morning, and it seems like on up in the day it gets a little better. I really feel like the fish are spawning where I'm fishing. They're spawning right here, I'm pretty sure. Some of the ones I caught yesterday was just real fat with eggs. That ain't small. That there might get a little better.
Most times, fishing a Carolina rig is a drag. A slow retrieve and drag the lure along. But not always.
I'm working the bait two ways. Yesterday, when the fish gets feeding, you could almost wind your bait. And almost like a slow rolling a spinnerbait or winding a crankbait real slow. Just once it hits the bottom, just sort of keep your bait moving. And it seemed like yesterday when they got to feeding, that's how they wanted the bait. If you worked it real slow, I couldn't get the bites. So, you know, a lot of folks don't work this bait. This is pretty fast for working a Carolina rig.
That's a 5 bass daily tournament limit for David Fritz. But at the Day 2 weigh-in at the Gadsden City docks, center stage belongs to Texas pro Alton Jones.
He needs 11 pounds to take the lead. The people, Alton Jones is hot as a firecracker. He's on largemouth bass. And watch the weight. He's in the lead. 19 pounds and 12 ounces. Boom! That's what it's about.
Well, I tell you what, sometimes a plan comes together, and it's really a good feeling when it does.
Let's show them just 3 of them. Look at these. People, these are largemouth, big-time largemouth.
Alton Jones has been close, but in 7 years on the Bassmaster Tournament Trail, he's yet to win. This may be his big chance. With 36 pounds, 6 ounces, Alton has a commanding lead. Gary Klein is the nearest threat with 29 pounds. Charlie Reed, Bud Pruitt, and Mike Otten will need big creels tomorrow to catch the leaders.
It's really no secret how I'm catching these fish. I'm sight fishing. Not very many guys are doing it. The fish are real scattered across the lake. I'm finding one over here and one over there. And I like sight fishing when the fish aren't really spawning strong, because if they're really on the beds, everybody's doing it. But the way I'm doing it now, I have the fish pretty well to myself.
Gary Klein's strategy is simple.
I came to this event knowing that I had to do it by fishing my strengths, and that's on the bank with a flip stick in my hand, and that's all I'm doing is flipping. The water's real dirty, so you can't see any visible beds. And I'm fishing a 3/16, 25-pound test trilene big game with a big hook, and I'm setting the hook awful hard. I'm catching both buck and female, which just tells me that, you know, that's where they want to be. They're moving into spawn, and hopefully those fish will be there tomorrow. There's a couple of things that are really important when you're sight fishing for bedding bass. One is a good pair of polarized sunglasses. That enables you to see down into the water better, and you can actually pick out the bass that are on the beds. If you use an amber lens, that will actually highlight greens and diminish browns and make bass even more visible. The other thing is, realize the bass aren't feeding because they're hungry. You're catching these fish because they're protecting their eggs. So you want to pitch your bait in there and leave it for a long time. If the bass spooks off, don't worry about it. Leave it in the bed so that when the bass returns to the nest, your bait is there. Then leave it in the bed and just shake your rod a little bit. Make the bait quiver just a little bit, sitting in one spot. If it leaves the bed real fast, it's no longer a threat to the eggs, and the bass won't attack it. These are the baits that I use almost all the time when I'm sight fishing. In this tournament, I primarily use the plum-colored Berkeley Power Crawl. That's the bait that the bass seem to react to the best when they're on the beds. Now, most of the time, I find the tube jig to be the best, or the lizard. Color is not that important. It's different in different situations. It's a matter of trying different colors until you find which one the fish react to best.
Charlie Reed, holding on to third place, is fishing mid-lake below the Highway 77 bridge crossing. He's off the main river channel in man-made canals near a marina.
Boy, when you can snatch them out of the water like that, they're not too big, are they? I'm fishing these little old canals and sloughs. Fishing this shallow water, these fish have just made a move here. It seems like it's a little late in the year for it, but the water's been pretty cool, the weather's been cool. Fish are just now making a real good move into the back of these things. The water's soft colored. You can't see them in here, but I know they're there. And I've just been pitching this plastic at them. And being real slow and easy with them. And I'm just going to stay with them. Hopefully they'll pour a little water today and these fish will turn on. Because when they do, they bite good now. You just got to believe they're here, that's all.
Keep right on thinking they'll bite, Charlie. Sight fishing in muddy water is like flipping with your eyes closed. Of course, there's the flip side. You may see the fish, but you can't make it bite.
It's unbelievable how many fish I can see in here and I can't get a bite. It blows my mind. Disgusting. depressing to look at 25 pounds swimming around. Can't get a bite.
Some of my greatest accomplishments over the years have been through the BASS tournament, and I've learned an awful lot through the pages of Bassmaster magazine. But you know, BASS is a whole lot more than a great tournament organization and a great magazine. BASS is over 600,000 members strong, and they've pioneered the program to return our tax dollars back to our fisheries to preserve the future for our junior fishermen. BASS pioneered the catch and release program, which is so vital to our resource. BASS is a fraternity that I'm very proud to be a member of, and you should be too. And there's no better time to join BASS than right now. And with your $20 paid membership, you'll receive the winning secrets of the Bass Pros. Also, a pack of Berkeley Power Crawl, a spool of Berkeley Trilene XT line, and best of all, my new Vampire spinnerbait.
Join Bass and get your free tackle pack. Call 1-800-FISH-659.
6 boats, 10 fishermen, 14,000 pounds, and 1 trolling motor with the power to move it all. Motor Guide, the world's most powerful trolling motors.
It doesn't matter whether you own a transom or a bow mount. Dollar for dollar, Motor Guide delivers more pounds of thrust than Minn Kota or any other trolling motor in the world.
For power to burn, it's Motor Guide.
All right, here we go with Alton Jones, my good friend from Waco, Texas, folks. He needs a pound to regain the lead, folks, and he's got that. He's got 1 bass that's going to weigh almost a pound, and the other is going to go over 4. Watch the scale. 7 pounds and 5 ounces. That puts him solidly in the lead this tournament, people, for the big payday. And let me show you why. 1 cast, right spot, boom. That's what it's about right there.
That big bass keeps Alton on top the leaderboard with a 3-day weight of 43 pounds, 11 ounces. But Gary Klein's in line with a 5 bass limit.
I'm going to fix you up next year.
Looks like to me he's got enough.
He needs 14-12 to win this tournament. 14-12. That's off. Get him on there. When the water drains out, it's still dripping. Still dripping. Hit him. Got to be 14-12. 14-10. 14-10. The winner by 1 ounce. With 43 pounds, 11 ounces, Alton Jones. Let's have a nice welcome. He's our winner. Alton Jones. Alton, you've done it very square.
Well, I tell you what, when you win by 1 ounce, it's simply by the grace of God.
For Alton Jones, his first BASS win pays off with $46,000, including a $1,000 bonus for the day's big bass, 6 pounds, 4 ounces. As the runner-up, Gary Klein claims $25,000. Mark Davis in third pockets $23,000. In the amateur division, Dale Bennett of Tennessee wins a $20,000 Ranger bass boat powered by an OMC outboard. Right now, it's time for the Pros Pointer, the champion's winning tip. Brought to you by Wrangler Rugged Wear, geared for the outdoors.
Another secret that's helped me catch a lot of big bass is to catch the male bass. A lot of times, you'll see the female cruising around and she won't quite sit down good. But if you catch the male and he's in your live well, a lot of times then the female will go sit up on the nest and lock down. One of my tricks is to actually leave the bed after I catch the male, come back in about an hour, and a lot of times you can catch that female real quick.
Wrangler jeans are the perfect jeans to wear when you're going out for a little seafood with your best buddy. Wrangler, real comfortable jeans. Wrangler jeans, perfect when you're training your dog or when your dog is training you. Wrangler, real comfortable jeans.
Next week, the Bassmaster Tournament Trail heads to Charles County, Maryland, and the Potomac River for a different bassin situation. You'll learn how the pros catch more bass in a tidal river situation. For the Bassmasters, I'm Bob Cobb. Join us right here on TNN Outdoors for all the action in the Kmart Maryland Bassmaster Top 100.
How much you will say it weighs? Tell me, give me a weight.
4.9.
4.9. Going up on me. 4.9. Tell you what, I'm going to make a deal with you. This is something I don't generally do, but I'm going to go first and give you a better shot.
Okay.
I say 4.9.
You're close.
You say what?
4.9.
You can't say the same thing I said.
4.8.
4.8, okay. 6 pounds even. You lost, you owe me $1. I don't want a handshake. I want one of them little green things.
In Fisherman Television, next TNN Outdoors. Tuesday, it's a special night with Lori Morgan.
The request line is open.
Live for 1 hour. You pick it, Lori will play it.
I'm just a phone call away.
TNN, live with Lori Morgan, Tuesday, 10 Eastern.
Cox Communications and CNBC want you in the market. Enter the Take Stock Sweepstakes. You could win the grand prize, $3,000 to invest in any way you choose, or one of 10 first prizes. Microsoft Money 98 Financial Management CD-ROM. $3,000 to invest. It's a great start.
Register to win at Peninsula Trust Bank in Williamsburg and Newport News. Contest ends April 15, 1998.
You've known for years that Standard Engine Company in Portsmouth is Hampton Road's leading engine replacement specialist. Now Standard Engine Company is also offering engine repair service. Nobody knows more about engines than Standard Engine. If you need help with engine problems, whether it's a minor repair or a complete engine replacement, call Standard Engine Company in Portsmouth today. 397-3559.
TNN Outdoors. Later tonight, Bill Dance takes us to Orlando to check out the marine life at SeaWorld. And then it's time for some boot-kicking, bull-riding recklessness with the PBR Bud Light Cup Circuit. But right now, we're going all natural. The pros of In-Fisherman Television are discussing live bait strategies and techniques to help you land a big one, the natural way. It's all right here on the home of the experts.
This is TNN Outdoors.
Al, Ron, and Jim Lindner present The In-Fisherman, the most authoritative multi-species angling network in the world. Explosive topwater bassin to exciting forays for monster walleye.
Size of that thing. Oh man, what is the ball take your aim?
From catfish in America's mighty rivers to sunfish in pits and ponds.
Oh, big one.
The In-Fisherman shows you how and where riding the cutting edge of angling. Welcome to the world of the In-Fisherman.
Hi, everybody. Al Linder here with In-Fisherman, and thanks for joining us on today's show. Hey, I got a question for you. Let's pretend you're out on your favorite body of water, lake, river, reservoir, pit, or pond, and this particular environment is very clear water. You can see bottom in at least 4 feet. Let's say there's a lot of boat traffic out on this particular day. A lot of fishermen, a lot of personal watercraft, a lot of water skiers. Let's throw in the scenario a bad cold front that came through the night before. Hey, what do? I know what I would do. I'd get out my live bait rigs. When the going gets tough, the answer to putting fish in a boat is always live bait. And that's what we're going to be talking about on today's show. Fine points of live bait fishing.
On this week's show, the in-fisherman staff examines live bait tactics and strategies. We'll start the show off hunting magnum bluegills with crickets. We'll also take a detailed look at the bottom bouncer, an unbelievably simple yet effective rig for walleye. And we'll close the show with a unique dogging tactic for monster bass. Stay tuned.
And big bass go hand in hand no matter where you fish.
Even though Dodge Ram is the bright red gold standard of pickup trucks, we're always improving things. We've made our available Magnum V8s even more powerful. We've improved the already world-class interior. In all, we've made 130 improvements to the Ram lineup since introduction, including this one, our new flow-through ventilation system. New Ram Quad Cab. The rules have changed.
I hate days like this. Yeah, me too. Rain, lightning, thunder, no fishing. So what kind of rod you gonna get? I don't know. What are you gonna get? I don't know. They all look alike. I got mine. Me too. You betcha.
Introducing Rhino Glow Tip Rods from Zebco. Fish all day, fish all night.
You gotta know how to get out of here.
Nothing gets a bluegill's attention like small and squirmy. From terrestrials like crickets and ants struggling on the surface to small crayfish poking their heads out between the rocks and a zillion other small morsels that live in the water, there is hardly a moment in a bluegill's life that they're not going after something that looks, smells, and tastes like a meal. Let's join Al Lindner and Doug Stanky with guest Warren Crabtree with live bait tactics for bluegills.
I was impressed when he told me today that we were going out here. He says, I got an idea. You got a net with you? Bring it with you. Look at the size of these things. When you got to bring nets for bluegills. And he says you can also, he had a 114 bluegill yesterday. That's a big gill, really a big gill. You know, when these things get to getting really active and biting, you can catch big bluegills like this on flies or small jigs on light line or on casting floats. They'll get pretty aggressive. But much of the time, the big gills, to really concentrate on good numbers of them, you got to go to some kind of live bait or a live bait artificial combination. That's interesting down here. We're using crickets. I've never fished crickets before. The key to fishing any kind of live bait for bluegills is matching the riggings to the bait itself. I'm going to put this big sucker back. Look at that. Those are really giant gills. I haven't been on gills like this for a long, long time. Give it up. Big old pins. Oh, look at it, baby. Another one. You can almost lip them like a bass. You know, I really believe, as far as bluegills go, day in and day out, jig size and hook style can be more important than any other panfish species. Really important with bluegills. When you're chasing gills with minnows, leeches, or worms, a number 6 through 10 Mustad Aberdeen fine wire hook is tough to beat. For small grubs like maggots or waxworms, I prefer a number 6 through 12 Mustad beak hook with a baitkeeper system. For nymphs, freshwater shrimp, and terrestrials, a number 8 through 14 Mustad shrimp and caddis hook is a good option. As far as jigs go, use the lightest weight jig that you can get away with. Most will be 1/32 of an ounce and even much, much smaller than that. Use jigs with no collar when tipping with only bait. When using jigs with plastics, like for added color, non-action tails seem to work best. Hair and feather jigs also work well with some live baits. like a good one, guys. You know, he's talking about catching some two-pounders. No, that ain't a two, but that's another big one. Look at this. Look at that sucker. Man, he's got big gills, I'm telling you. I ain't got one that I needed a net for yet, but, oh, look at that. Doug's pounding them back there, and we're pounding them back here. This is a field day. We're probably going to eat a few of these big gills tonight, but I'm going to throw some of them back. Doug is doing his job of selective harvest. So we'll throw back a lot of these big gills. These things can be fished down, too, even in an area like this where they're producing so many big fish. You know, the key, or one of the keys to using live bait, is keeping live bait fresh. Now, there's different containers and different systems of keeping your bait. Here I got a cricket cage, which is really neat. We got small leeches and small worms sitting on coolers of ice to keep it fresh and lively. We got minnow buckets and aerated systems with different size minnows. Keeping bait fresh is definitely one of the advantages. Even poor bait, live bait, will catch some bluegill, but the right bait, fresh and lively, makes a big, big difference. These fish are pretty far down in here now, but there's a lot of them that scattered brush across the bottom, and them fish are laid right up above them. Oh, that's one of them big slabs right by the buoy. It was probably that one right there. Just kidding. It's incredible. Look at it. Man, oh man. Big old bumpy heads. Big old bump heads. It's been a long, long time since I sat on gills like this. Let me clue you. That many of them. Big bluegills don't come easy, and one of the keys to consistently putting them in a boat is the right bait, fished the right way.
Next on In Fisherman, bottom bouncing for walleye. We'll be right back.
After a lifetime of carving fishing lures in Finland, Risto Rapala came to America to introduce his new balsa wood lure.
Hey, give me your money.
You won't believe what this man can do with a knife. The new Risto Wrap, developed by Risto Rapala.
Mercury with electronic fuel injection. It's a wolf among sheep. Bass bite and won't let go. Bass bite and won't let go. Bass bite and won't let go. Berkeley Power Bait. You'll feel more bites, set more hooks, and catch more bass. Because when you fish power bait, fish bite and won't let go.
When it comes to flipping, some stop at nothing to perfect their style. But style alone doesn't catch fish. Hooks do. That's why you need the new Denny Brower flipping hook from Mustad. It's got a super sharp needle point, special tempering, and an extra wide gap for thick or thin baits. All to help make sure your well-practiced moves don't leave you short when it comes to happy landing. To land more fish, get the new Mustad Denny Brower flipping hook today.
This segment brought to you by the Walleye Angler Catalog with 10,000 products for walleye fishing. Call 1-800-6-WALLEYE now for your free catalog.
Not a big one, but not a bad one. Oh, yes. Look at that. We're just going to get you right off here right away. That little teeny hook sitting in the tip of his mouth, just where he should be, doing what he should be doing, huh? That is a good fish.
Nice fish.
Really nice eye. Really a nice fish. Look at that. You know, to consistently put walleyes like this in a boat, there's no question that you got to reach for the live bait bucket. Night crawlers, leeches, varieties of minnows. And you can present live bait a lot of different ways. You could present them on slip sinker rigs. You could fish them below floats. There's a time and a place for split shotting. Or what we're using, which is called a bottom bouncer. These things are deadly in a variety of conditions. And a bottom bouncer does stuff that a float or a split shot or a slip sinker doesn't do to trigger fish.
A lot of people don't realize is bottom bouncing might be one of the easiest ways there is to fish.
One of the keys to bottom bouncing is to keep the bait on a fairly decent angle, about anything out to about a 45-degree angle, from vertical to a 45-degree angle, depending on how snaggy it gets. You want to try to avoid leaving a whole lot of line out. You defeat the purpose of it. Best way to fish these things, I think, after a lot of years of playing with them, is with a bait casting rod. It fishes the bait. It's easier to control the presentation with a bait casting rod than a spinning rod. Fairly soft rod, something with a lot of give, which is almost always the case with walleye fishing. But in bottom bouncing, it really shines. 8, 10, 12-pound test line, really all you need. Most cases, I guess, on average, you're fishing a 3 to 5 foot snell with 4 foot as a good guideline, whether you're fishing just a hook with a bead and a minnow, nightcrawler, leech, or pulling a spinner.
Look at that rod tip. You can tell how hard that is when I tap it down. You just watch it quiver.
Oh.
And there's a good pull.
Feels like a good one. Feels like a good one, Billy. Look at there. Quite a few fish on here. I see a bottom bouncer and I see a walleye.
Nice walleye.
I see a bottom bouncer and a walleye. Come here, baby. And I'm not even going to net you. I'm not going to mess with you. You're hooked real nice and easy. Look at that. Huh? Just the way she should be. Right on the tip of her mouth. Get that sucker back. You know, in the past few years, there's been a lot of refinements made with bottom bouncers. Today, anglers use bottom bouncers in a variety of conditions. The half-ounce model can be used in light line finesse situations, while the 3-ounce model can be used for high-speed, deep-water applications. They come in many different colors, wire gauges, and shaft lengths. Some have spinners on them, others have rattles. Certain types even allow you to adjust the weight of the bouncer without retying, and man, is that handy. Others combine the snag-free feature of the bottom bouncer with the unique ability of feeding a fish line just like a slip rig system. It's really amazing how sensitive a bottom bouncer is. It's much more sensitive than a slip sinker system to interpreting the bottom. With that wire, a stiff wire shaft, not a soft wire, when you lift up and drop the bait like this, you can feel right back into your rod handle. You could feel it going in sand or gravel. You know, it's kind of soft, and all of a sudden you hit a rock. You know, it goes thunk right into the handle. Oh, you got him. Nice one.
Got a little bend to him.
Nice one, you bet.
Walleye.
Yeah, nice fish.
Got to watch underneath here. We might see one of the toothy critters take a...
You seem to be hitting that minnow as equally well as the leech.
Yeah, that one hit it nice and hard. Right in the lip, though.
A couple key things to know or keep in mind with a bottom bouncer versus any of your other live bait presentations, basically, is that, number one, they're much more snag-free. You can fish them in really bad conditions that a slip sinker system won't fish. And the other thing is you tend to fish much faster than you would with most other live bait presentations. You can move along pretty quick with a bottom bouncer.
Can't tell. Oh, he's a nice walleye.
She's a nice fish.
That's a nice
walleye.
Oh,
yeah. Look at him. You just drop back and lift. That's all you do. It's a good one, too. You know, you don't have to set real hard on these things. You just drop the rod back. Remember, it isn't a slip sinker system. Nicer fish. Look at that. Nice fish, too. Nice fish. Whoa! He didn't like when all of a sudden he woke up. He woke up big time. I don't want to get clumped in the head with the bottom bouncer. Here. Nice fish. Come here, Vic. I got you, and I'm going to get you back real easy. I don't want to hurt you. Right where he should be hooked. Right on the tip of his nose. Again, that's one of the beauties of fishing with these bottom bouncers. You don't hurt a lot of fish. Not like some cases on a slip sinker system. You know, these fish are quick, and it's a quick, easy release. No question about it. Hey, if you're a serious walleye fisherman and you fish a wide variety of different kinds of waters, you got to have a good assortment of different weights of bottom bouncers, and a few of the different types of bottom bouncer designs will absolutely help you put more fish in the boat this season.
Coming up, Dog and Bass. In Fisherman will be right back.
Try to flip back.
What do these people have in common?
We all read In Fisherman.
In Fisherman readers know that by reading In Fisherman magazine, they're guaranteed to catch more and bigger fish, or they get their money back. We're so confident that you'll catch more and bigger fish by reading In Fisherman that we're going to send you an issue free. That's right, free. Call 1-800-287-7149 now, and you'll receive a free copy of the magazine that's guaranteed to teach you to catch more crappie, walleye, largemouth bass, smallmouth bass, pike, and muskie. Look at that catfish. Call now on this special TV offer, and you'll also receive the Secret Systems book that explains the In Fisherman proven fish catching formula, an In Fisherman decal, and 6 more big issues for only $9.99. And if you decide not to subscribe, simply write cancel on the invoice that you receive with your free issue. Either way, the issue is yours to keep. Call 1-800-287-7149, and you can start catching fish like In Fisherman subscriber Brian Lindbergh.
Thanks, In Fisherman.
More fish with a Canon. Want to have some fishing fun indoors? Get Canon's new interactive CD-ROM. Educational, entertaining, and just $5. Call 1-800-360-FISH.
Don't just break your line, they break your heart. That's why more fishermen trust Trilene, America's strongest monofilament.
Oh, boy. The majority of bass angling today revolves around artificial bait presentations. Bass, being an opportunistic feeder, love to bite on crankbaits, spinners, topwater, and soft plastics. This aggressive characteristic is one of the reasons why they're the most popular game fish in North America. In small pockets of the country, live baiting bass is a common practice, particularly for trophies. Shiners of the ticket in Florida. In California, many of the modern-day giants were caught on either live crayfish or water dogs. Let's join Al Lindner and Son with a surprisingly simple and effective tactic for producing big bass.
Try to flip back in there, see if you can get one out of there. There's probably a set of them big boys in there. Oh, come here, baby. Oh, got her. Woo! Now that is a big bass giant fish. You know, most of the big bass anywhere in North America, and I don't care where you fish, in a given year are taken on live bait of some kind. For live bait of some kind, they could be shiners, chubs, crawfish, frogs, different varieties of minnows, or what we're using here, water dogs on a back of jigs. But live bait, unquestionably, produces the biggest bass you could possibly get, no matter where you fish. Troy, give me another dog, man. There's actually a number of different ways to fish dogs, depending on the type of habitat and the depth of water you're fishing. Tipping water dogs on jigs is one of the easiest ways to present a bait around cover like weeds or wood. It's important to put pieces of plastic on your hook to hold the bait in place. This will help prevent the dog or a large minnow from coming off after repetitive casts. Another way to fish dogs is a simple slip rig system. This works particularly well for deep water situations or flatlining them in shallow water. With this system, you simply drag the bait behind the boat, moving real slow with your trolling motor. Oh, boy, that feel good. Oh, man. Oh, boy, did she grab that thing, Troy. Whew. That's what I like about fishing with bait. You can let that fish go a minute with it. You don't have to have that instant reflex. Even like with power bait, sometimes they'll take it and drop it. Well, I know there's a lot bigger boys on the structure than you are. You know where these live bait combinations, like on jigs like we're throwing here with dogs and minnows, or a variety of other kind of riggings, whether they're shiners or craws or frogs, seem to work the best is in very clear water conditions. Live bait really shines. Cold front conditions, a heavy fishing pressure, things that cause fish to be negative or real slow, that's when you want to grab your live bait and go chasing bass like this. If fish are active and aggressive, you don't need live bait. Standard artificials will put plenty of fish in a boat.
We're fishing right after one of the worst cold fronts of the summer. And realistically, it's been a pretty tough bite. But now when you're fishing these dogs, this live bait in this water like this, we're pulling up some big fish.
You know, we're talking about using them now for bass. But we fish a lot of lakes that have a northern pike, big walleyes in them. You'd get the jig and a weed line, big giant smallmouth. You take this combination like we're flipping here, a jig with a dog on the back of it. And I mean, big northerns, you can, in a day, you can have a couple trophy-sized smallmouth, a trophy northern or two, a trophy walleye, not to mention some trophy largemouth. Another one. Man, you're hot back there. Boy, you are hot.
Yeah. Come on.
Oh, Troy. Oh, she's a big one. She's a big bass. Woo.
Nice.
Oh, that fish grabbed that thing. There was no question she was not about to let that big old dog go. Oh, she's a healthy-looking one, too. Huh? Hey, there's no question about it. Live bait and big bass go hand in hand no matter where you fish. Hi, folks. Hey, I've been fishing out of Lund boats since 1971. They've been great for me. This year, Lund is celebrating its 50th anniversary. That's 50 years of adding fishability, state-of-the-art performance, and features that the rest of the industry just wishes they could offer. You know what? Lund has never compromised the quality. I'd say they're tougher and more durable than ever before. 50 years in business is great. Leading the industry for 50 years is incredible.
Man, I sure wouldn't want to be you, Harold.
Minn Kota doesn't know the meaning of quit.
Saturdays, hit the outdoors.
Boy, I tell you, it doesn't get much better than this.
Southern Outdoors with Wade Bourne. Journey through the South for the best hunting and fishing spots.
All right, that's a good one there.
Plus, learn from the pros as they share their secrets and produce new products and tips that take you inside and keep you informed. So head south. Southern Outdoors, Saturday, 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 Pacific on TNN Outdoors, home of the experts.
There she goes. Whoa! I it's called the quick release. Hey, no matter where you fish or what kind of fish you fish for, live bait will always put fish in a boat no matter what time of the year it is or what kind of situation you're faced with. Hey, in Fisherman magazine, every single issue has some fine points of live bait fishing for any kind of freshwater fish there is. I want to encourage you to pick up a copy. I think you'll learn some things that'll fine-tune your live bait presentations for any kind of fish anywhere. Hey, from our whole crew at Fisherman, you have a good, safe fishing season. We look forward to seeing you on the water somewhere.
On next week's show, the Fisherman staff will look at the status and future of North America's fisheries. We'll see you then. If you would like to subscribe to Fisherman magazine, call us at 1-800-FISH-410.
This is TNN Outdoors. Bill Dance Outdoors, next on TNN Outdoors. Saturdays on TNN Outdoors. Join television's leading authority on saltwater fishing, Mark Sozin, for an action-packed and informative half hour. This Hall of Fame fisherman shows you the tactics, the tackle, and the techniques of saltwater angling. Not only will he take you to some of the world's